Yes, good morning, students. Yes, someone has
Good
to.
afternoon, sir.
Uh,
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Yes, any doubt regarding the last class about static and dynamic force?
No, sir.
No doubt. So we work for 2 minutes. Only 30 participants are there. Yes, shall I start the class? Yes, someone has to give the response. My
Yes, sir.
voice is
Yes, sir.
audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 1 minute. Yes, PPT is visible.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Okay. So what is the name of the PPT, ma'am? Slide number 1.
Statics and dynamic force analysis.
Yeah, static and dynamic force analysis. Right, 1 minute. Okay. Shall I start?
Yes, sir.
Yes, mute yourself. Yes, good afternoon, students. Jai Shri Gurudev. So last class we discussed about the module 1 static and dynamic force analysis. Right? In that, static means the body is under rest position or in equilibrium position, or it may be the body is also under motion, continuous motion with a uniform velocity. Then that is called as a statics, right? So now when the body is in equilibrium condition or under motion, continuous motion, so what will be the forces are occurred on the each part of the mechanism or a part of the body? Okay, that we analyze called as static force analysis. Dynamic force analysis means when a body is under motion and it accelerated. No, velocity is not constant. Velocity changes with respect to time. Then you go for determine the forces. Force is a vector quantity. Remember it. It has both magnitude and direction. And also we determine the location or where the forces act. These three are very important. Okay, in order to determine the forces when the body is accelerated, then it called as a dynamic force analysis. Then how do you determine? Now the next slide is visible. If someone has to give the response. Yes,
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 sir.
sir.
is it visible? Module 1 static and dynamic force analysis, in that the content, right? Contents are
Yes,
there.
sir.
Yeah, okay. So this already we discussed. When you go for analyze static force analysis, when inertial forces are exerted by a body when it's under continuous motion, those inertial forces are lesser than the the weight of the body, right? The body is under rest, then it called as a static force analysis. Force analysis is carried out. When a body is accelerated, the inertial forces are more as compared to the a body is under rest position, or the body is under rest. Then you go for dynamic force analysis. Now, when you go for static force analysis, in order to determine what are the forces induced in the body by applying a equilibrium equation, that is, one is static equilibrium equation is vector sum of all the forces acting on a body is equal to 0. Second one, vector sum of all the movement about an arbitrary point is equal to 0. For dynamic equilibrium, vector sum of all the force is equal to, for linear motion, vector sum of all the force is equal to mass into linear acceleration. For angular motion of a body, the vector sum of all the moments or torque about a point, arbitrary point, is equal to mass moment of inertia, is a product of mass moment of inertia and angular acceleration. Now again, last class we discussed about, these are very, the body is when a body is subjected to two force acting on a body. When we say the body is in equilibrium condition, means those two force should be equal in magnitude, act in opposite direction along the same line of action. Remember these 3 points. Yes, mutes. Kiran Kumar, mute yourself. Okay. Then when say the body is under equilibrium, equilibrium means under rest position, under steady state condition, steady state. When then only we go for how the body behaves, then we go for determine. Yeah. That is the example I have given here, tug of war. Second one, when a body is subjected to 3 forces, then when you say body is equilibrium, that body is subject to 3 forces means all the 3 force, it may be irrespective of in magnitude and direction, but the line of action means in what direction the force is acting here. The line of action, all the 3 forces should be meet at a point. The point is called the point of concurrency, right? And whatever if you draw a force polygon for that forces acting on the body, then the force, if you draw a force polygon, there is no resultant forces acting on the acting or generated by the body. Then you say that body is under equilibrium when the body is subject to 3 forces, right? This is an example. Consider here a hook or a crane hook. You take a crane hook. Third one, when a body is subjected to 2 force and a torque, then it should be a equilibrium condition. 2 force, you see that at point A, the one force is acting, at injured point also another force acting, and a torque is also acting here, right? When you say body is under equilibrium, when body is subjected to 2 force and a torque, those 2 force should be equal in magnitude, act in parallel to each other and opposite in sense. Those two forces produces F1 and F2, that about point O, that produces what type of couple here? Clockwise couple. In order to make it equilibrium, then I want to apply a counterclockwise couple generated. Sorry, the F1 and F2 that produces about O, that produces what type of couple here? Counterclockwise couple, right? Counterclockwise torque. In order to make it equilibrium, then we need to apply a torque in clockwise direction, right? That's to show you that torque is acting clockwise direction now to make it equilibrium. Then how do you determine the magnitude of torque? Torque, as you know, that force into a perpendicular distance. That is a very important. The force into perpendicular distance. These two forces are equal. F1 is equal to F2. They are acting in parallel to each other, opposite in sense, right? What is magnitude? Torque is equal to force into perpendicular distance, right? Now remember, these 3 equilibrium conditions are very, very important. When a body is subject to 2 forces, then when a body is subject to 3 force member, and then a body is subject to 2 force and a torque. If you understand thoroughly these 3 things, these 3 equilibrium condition, then you can easily solve the problem, right? And one more thing, now how do you represent the force convention? That's a very, very important. See that the force exerted by member I on member J is represented by F ij, F suffix ij. Yes, mute yourself. right? A force exerted by member I on member J is represented by Fij. For example, see the 4-bar mechanism here, right? In the 4-bar mechanism, always fixed link we represent as the link number 1. The input link is link number 2. The intermediate link is link number 3. The output link we call as a link number 4, right? So the why do we call it as a 4-bar mechanism means each bar having only a binary links it is, right? Each part here only having a 2 joints here, right? That's why called as a binary links, right? These are already studied in your kinematics of machine. I'll not go for in detail here. Now consider a 4-bar mechanism. See that the hinges are A, B, C, D. Those are hinges. Those are hinges. Okay. The link 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the 4 links. Always we start from name it as the fixed link is link number 1. The input link is link number 2. The coupler or intermediate link is link number 3. The output link is link number 4. Okay. Yeah. So this is what we call as a space diagram here. Then once you draw the space diagram, right? Once you draw the space diagram, so now here see the link 4, it is subjected to an external force. That force is known in magnitude and direction, right? The force is known in magnitude direction that acts in link number 4. When you act the force on this link number 4 at a distance of some distance from point inch E C, okay, now it becomes an unequilibrium condition. Okay, then I want to make it equilibrium by applying a torque here, input link by applying a torque, then it becomes an equilibrium condition. But our aim is to determine what is the forces induced in the each part of the mechanism. Then how do you determine? We go for draw a separate diagram or a sketch isolated from the main diagram. See that this is a space diagram. Figure A shows space diagram of a 4-bar mechanism. We'll draw one more diagram here parallel to those particular link. See the link number 2, draw a line which is parallel to link number 2 at the same distance here. They don't change the length of the link to here. Whatever the link length is there, same link length you should draw here. Similarly for link number 3 also, link number 4 also. Then, so a diagram or a sketch which is isolated from the main diagram. Okay, on the diagram which is isolated from the main diagram, we can see the what are the nature of forces acting on that the diagram. That is sketches are shown here B, C, D. Those diagrams are called as a free body diagram. Why do you call it as a free body diagram? Means those diagram or a sketch. See that it is a sketch or a diagram of a part isolated from the mechanism or a main part in order to determine the nature of forces acting on it. For example, consider link number 2, input link. The link subject to how many forces here? See the 2 forces acting at the on the link. One force is acting at the hinge A, another force is acting at the hinge B, right? And it is subject to also a torque. So how do you represent the what is the force acting on hinge A? Now what is the force convention here? You represent here force exerted by member I on member J is represented by Fij. See that now I'm writing the free body diagram for link 2, right? Now link 2 on the link 2 is connected to link 1. There is a fixed link at hinge A, and another one link that at hinge B also it is connected by the link number 3, right? Now from link 1 the force is exerted from the link 1 to link 2. That is how do you represent here? F suffix 1 2. Similarly from the link 3 also the force is exerted on link 2. How do you represent here? F suffix 3 2, right? Similarly, if you want to go for draw the free body diagram for link 3, on link 3 Again, hinges are B and C. At B, hinge B, now link 2 is connected. At hinge C, link 4 is connected. Now, what is the force acting on link 3 on hinge B here? From the link 2 on link 3. What is the force we represent here? Force convention is F suffix 2, 3. From member 2 on member 3. Force exerted by member 2 on member 3. That is we represent F suffix 2, 3. Similarly, at hinge C, right? At hinge C, the link number 3 and 4 is connected, right? I'm writing the free body diagram for link 3. Now, the link 3 at hinge C, what is the force exerted by member 4 on member 3? That is we represent as F suffix 4, 3, right? Similarly for link 4 also. Then what is the directions here? That is very important. When you solve the problem, we'll come to know that. Now you can see that link 2 and 3, the hinges are same here. B, hinge B is same, right? Now what is the force acting at the hinge B here? F32 corresponding to link 2. Similarly at link 3, F23. Those two forces should be in equal but opposite in nature. F32 is equal to F23 but in opposite in nature at the same hinge. Then only the mechanism is under equilibrium condition, or the hinge is under equilibrium, means steady state condition. Remember, this is a force convention. Okay, so yes, Katila is there. Katila, use number 46.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, now how do you represent force convention, ma'am? Force convention.
Sir.
Yes.
Sir, by the links we can convert the force, sir.
Now, how do you represent force convention? See that the slide you are visible. What you are seeing the slide?
Yes, sir. Visible,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. How do you represent the force convention?
Represented by
F, suffix I.
F, I,
Yeah.
and J, member J, sir.
Yeah. Now you tell me that now for link 2, F32 is there, right? For link 2, you can see here F32. What it means?
The force are exerted on that link.
That is what is the meaning here? The force exerted on the link at the hinge B. F32 means what?
Force conversion.
Yeah.
Force conversion.
Now the force exerted by F stands for force exerted by, 3 stands for which number here? Link 3 on
Link 3.
number is 2.
2.
On 2. The force exerted by link 3 on link 2, that we represent F32. Yes? Is there doubt?
No doubt, sir. Cleared.
Okay, I'll ask one more question. F43 is there here, right? Yeah, now tell me what is.
Yes, sir.
So what it indicates?
Sir, F is the force. 4 is the link 4 is the link 3 is the force exerted on link 4 on link 3.
Okay. F43 means the force exerted by
link 4 on link 3.
Link number 4 on link number 3.
3.
Yeah. Yes. So this is the way you should remember the force convention. This is very important one. In order to solve the problem, you should remember this force convention. And also draw the free body diagram. Free body diagram means it is okay. It is a diagram isolated from the main diagram. On this diagram, we can represent the nature of forces acting on the part. Okay, force is nothing but it is having both magnitude and direction. Keep in mind that. Yeah, next we'll go for analysis of 4-bar mechanism. Now, what do you mean by analysis of 4-bar mechanism means? First, we have 4-bar mechanism we have already created. or you already generated what is the relative motion between the parts that you study in kinematics of machine, and also it is a second design part actually, second step in the design procedure. Okay, first we go for study the relative motion between the parts. After that, our aim is to determine what is the forces induced in each part of the mechanism. Okay, here we consider the 4-bar mechanism, that is the analysis of 4-bar mechanism. Here we consider a 4-bar mechanism. It is subjected to an external force here, F. That force is known in magnitude, and also we know the direction. It is toward the link 4, right, at an angle of theta. Right, with respect to link 4 at an angle of theta and towards the link, the force is acting. We know the magnitude and direction. Then the body is become the 4-bar mechanism become a unequilibrium condition. Then I want to make it equilibrium. We're going to apply a required torque here. If you apply the torque, then it become the mechanism become equilibrium condition or steady state condition. Right? So in the analysis of 4-bar mechanism, now consider 4-bar mechanism with a force F is acting on the link 4. So what is our aim? Our aim is to find the forces induced in the each component or each part of the mechanism or each link of the mechanism. Again, force is a vector quantity. It has both magnitude and direction. Okay. And apart from that forces acting on each part of the mechanism, one more thing we are going to determine here, the torque, T suffix 2. T2 is acting, T means torque, which link you are acting here? On link number 2, that is a T2. Okay, and that also we determine. The torque is also a vector quantity. It has both magnitude and direction, right? Okay, then how do you determine this? How do you determine this? And also you determine the forces acting on the each part of the mechanism. Okay, then how do you determine the forces acting on the each part of the mechanism? That's a very the procedure we have. In that again we are assuming here neglecting friction at the joints. What is the joints here? Are hinges A, B, C, D. There is a at the joint there is a friction occurred here. We neglect the friction. If we consider friction, again we consider coefficient of friction. That's the mu value you have to consider. That we'll discuss in later. Okay. Now in that, so what is the first step? How do you analyze the 4-bar mechanism? First, we draw the space diagram for the mechanism by taking suitable scale. That is the first step. What is the first step? First, you draw the space diagram by taking suitable scale. Okay, first suitable scale means the link length, suppose 100 millimeters is there. Directly we can't draw the 100 millimeter on our A4 sheet. Then you go for convert into scale. So 100 millimeter is equal to, we reduce the scale, usually we go for 2:1. Okay, means 2 mm is equal to 1 mm. Then 100 millimeter, instead of drawing 100 millimeter line, you go for take only 50 millimeter. That is what we go for here, scaling, right? The first step is draw a space diagram by taking suitable scale. Then we get a space diagram. Okay. Second step, draw the free body diagram for each link. Draw a free body diagram of each link. Take that the whatever the link length you consider here in on the space diagram, same link length you draw here. Parallel to that link you draw the line. The length of the line should be a same as what we see in the space diagram. Same length should be there. Then once you draw the free body diagram, the free body diagram what are the nature of forces acting on the each part of the link, each part of the mechanism. That is the second step. Third step, now identify link which is subjected to only known in magnitude. Now which link is subjected to known in magnitude? See the link number 4 is subjected to only the force is acting here, external force is acting on the link number 4. That force, both magnitude and direction, we know that, right? Now consider link number 4. Link number 4 you consider. Now see that this is a force acting here on the link 4, that is F. Just simply you draw a line here. Whatever the angle is given, with respect to angle you draw the line and show the arrow mark here, a direction towards the link, right? Okay, now draw a line. Okay, now draw this line here, F. Now F is acting towards the link. We know the magnitude. The first letter shows the magnitude, second one is shows a direction. Okay, once you know the magnitude and direction of the force acting on the link number 4, then you consider that link. If you consider that link, okay, so if you we have only 10 minutes time, once it is okay, end the meeting, again you should rejoin the meeting. After 10 minutes, again you should rejoin the meeting. Okay. Now after yeah. So once you draw this, once you consider link number 4 in the free body diagram of link number 4, that we represent as D. A is the space diagram, B for the free body diagram for link 2, C represent free body diagram for link 3, and D the free body diagram for link 4. In the link number 4, what are the nature of forces acting on the link 4? See that in the link 4 is connected to link 3 and link 1. From the link 1 on the link 4, what is the force exerted here? F14. From the link 3 on the link 4, what is the force is generated here? F34. Now F14 is acting at hinge D, F34 is acting at hinge C. Okay, those two forces are, we don't know the magnitude and direction. Only we know the magnitude and direction here. Only the external force F is acting on the body, acting on the